who you were born to be, our baby girl, Zaya Wade. So, baby, thank you for showing the world.
Dwayne Wade's daughter, Zaya's name, gender legally change. What in the world is going on here? Hello, friends. Welcome to Look and Live. You here with Pastor James Devallon, and this is The Perspective. When I first heard about Dwayne Wade and his supposed daughter today, his son was named Zion, who is now Zaya because he has transitioned. When I first heard about that, I said, this is a family business. I stay away from this. He's a father. He want to raise his children a certain way. That's his own thing. I don't want nothing to do with them and their family, which is something that I personally like to do. Even when it comes to my own personal family issues and stuff, we like, yo, stay away from our business. The only reason I feel the need to speak about this is because I begin to see the level of influence that is attached to this. This is not just family business. This is a message. This is an example being set. This is a movement. This is an appeal to many other youths and other children. And I have sons and daughter. I said, no. We got to talk because there's something about this. The first thing that I saw was commercials were made. All right. Whereas Zaya,
I am to myself and others is just freeing, and to be able to share this is a phase, or
wow,
suck it up. we are who we are, parts of me, and so to be an inspiration to everyone out there is always my.
You see what I mean? An inspiration. This is an appeal. This is a setup. This is an example that is being set for the rest of the youth. So it's not just family business. Somebody's knocking at my door. That's how I feel about this. And when Michelle Obama interviewed Zaya, it really got my attention. When you get the approval of such a powerful individual on your corner, you know you're making waves. And I said, oh no, we got to talk more about this. Now listen to what Michelle Obama said.
I mean, I am just so proud of you, being just an amazing role model and embracing your truth, right? You're already doing this. So maybe this is for some other young people that are listening. But let me just say, it does take time to know what your self is, for young people. So my first piece of advice is be patient with yourself. Number one, at your age or in the teenage years and probably through your 20s, you're going to be experimenting with so many versions of yourself, right?
Whoa. You see what I'm saying? And this is the reason why I said, gotta say something. So Dwayne Wade won the battle. Just in case you didn't know, Zion is from his previous wife. There was a serious court battle going on not to get his name changed with his ex-wife, but Dwayne Wade got the big money, he got the big bucks, you're gonna win. Of course, his ex-wife, Siobhan Funches Wade, she was at odds over the move. However, Dwayne Wade got his way with his wife, Gabrielle Union. So there you have it. This is Zaya, who was Zion. And we can say a lot about the youth, and I will choose not to do that right now. I think I can talk about Dwayne Wade, since I'm a man, a father. There's something about this that just doesn't add up. Now, in a NW, Dwayne Wade won an award at the NAACP, and he gave a speech. And so does his wife. And oh gosh. All right. I'm going to share my thought and perspective on this. This is my view. You don't have to agree with everything I have to say. But as a Christian, as a God-fearing man, it's okay for us to comment on things like this. Okay. Because some of this stuff, it's perverting the culture and it's knocking at our doors. And we have to be able to respond to this in the most Christian way as we could, but at the same time, not failing to tell the truth, okay? I'm going to put a link in the description for the video so you can check it out. What I'm going to do, we're going to pause somewhat the imagery so that we can void the copyright claim so that the video can come out, okay? So let's take a listen to Dwayne Wade.
We don't stand up here alone. As we know, it takes a village, it takes a community. We stand up here today as two people who have worked tirelessly to have resources and access. As two people willing to use our microphones for what we believe and what other families are going through. I'm intentional when I use my platform. I recognize what I've been given, and it is my job to uplift the voices of others and share my access and resources. I want to take this moment to publicly speak to our daughter, Zaya. Zaya, as your father, all I've wanted to do was get it right. I've sat back and watched how gracefully you've taken on the public scrutiny. And even though it's not easy, I watched you walk out of that house every morning as yourself. I admire how you've handled the ignorance in our world. I admire it that you face every day. To say that your village is proud of you is an understatement.
First of all, don't let the emotional side of this thing move you. Here's the reason why. He's appealing to emotion here. He's making some type of family connection as well. And people who are emotional will be moved by this. I'm not an emotional guy when it comes to facts. I don't like to put facts behind emotions. I put facts above emotions. Now, the biological facts is that Dwayne Wade has transitioned his son to become a daughter, and he's applauded. He is loved. He is appreciated as an exemplar to the race. This is what we're listening to, and this is what we are hearing so far. Now, I can tell as a father, he's an honest man. He really loves his family. Amen. Praise God. I'm happy for you. But the example you're setting here is not a good thing for the culture. Now, I'm going to bypass the emotion. This is not okay. This has some serious repercussions attached to it. There are lives of other young children who will be impacted by the example you're setting forth with your daughter. It's one thing you do this behind closed doors, but it's another thing you do this and you put it out before the public to be seen as an exemplar of American family. That is the concern. That is and again, in free America, you're allowed to do that, okay? But I'm also allowed to disagree, to comment, to oppose your view. And there's nothing wrong with doing that either. Let's keep going.
Thank you for showing me that there's more than just one way to communicate effectively. You've taught me that communication with my mouth isn't enough. I have to also communicate with my two ears and my two eyes. As your father, my job isn't to create a version of myself or direct your future. My role is to be a facilitator to your hopes, your wishes, and your dreams.
Wrong. I know they're about to clap, but that's exactly not what it means to be a father. Your job is not to facilitate your child. Your job is to raise and nurture your child Now, the Christian way of doing things, and I'm not expecting Wade to act like a Christian, but the Christian message is clear. You raise them in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. You nurture the child to have self-control, self-confidence, faith in God, and also business-driven. What's happening here is a child-centered parenting. If you don't know about that, look it up. What's going on, this is where parents submit to the wishes of the child. The child is governing the parents instead of the parents raising, controlling, and guiding and admonishing the child. Is the other way around. However the child feels, we submit. However the child, whatever the child wants, we give to them, instead of addressing matters for what they are. That's what's going on here. And I think what has happened, many fathers, I think like Wade, have dropped the ball on fatherhood. They've dropped the ball. They either don't know what it means to be a father, or they're not even trying to be a father. I think that's what's going on here.
Zaya, you've made me a better human just simply by being who you were born to be, our baby girl, Zaya Wade.
Oh, stop. He said, oh, Lord, 2023. Where did we go wrong? I know where we went wrong. I can tell you where we went wrong. This has been a long time coming. When you got a famous basketball player standing on national television as a black man saying that my son is now a daughter, something's wrong. Something's really wrong with us. It's okay to admit it. We need help.
And who you were born to be, our baby girl, Zaya Wade. So, baby, thank you for showing the world what courage looks like. I'm proud that I was chosen to stand in place as your father. And thank you so much to the NAACP for this incredible honor.
Thank you, Derek and the NAACP. It's humbling to stand here surrounded by friends and heroes, OGs and icons, all working to advance the lives of Black people and pay respect to an organization that has led us through over a century of relentless challenge, pain, triumph, and change, and now stands with us again at the foot of a very new era of activism. A new era that demands our collective answer to one simple question. Will we fight for some, or will we fight for all of our people?
Gabrielle Union was a good actress, and I think she's still doing a very good job acting. Now, Black people, is this what activism, is this what being Black is all about now? It's an honest question. No disrespect. I have no hate in my heart. I don't. I'm a Bible-believing Christian. I love people. But my question is this what it means to be Black today?
Let's just name a couple hard truths. First, the intersection of Black rights and the rights of the LGBTQIA, trans, and gender nonconforming people continues to be rough. That's a huge understatement. Even as we demand equality at the top of our lungs, we consistently fail to extend our advocacy to protect some of our most vulnerable among us.
She's trying hard. Good job acting, part of it. I think It's so obvious she's putting on a show here. Anyway, let's keep going.
And second, Black trans people are being targeted, terrorized, and hunted in this country.
Really? Where are the facts? Let me do some research. Really? Where are the facts at? Okay, so I got something. So according to, this is PBS, trans people won't be erased. Report says at least 32 trans people were killed in the US in 2022. Okay, these are some numbers. Even if one trans person was killed, it would still be bad. I think lives are very precious, regardless of how, whether I agree with your life or not. I think you're very precious to God. So 59% of these trans people were Black. And I'm sure, here's my question though, when it comes to these numbers. Were these people killed because they are trans, or were they killed for other reasons? You know, you have to understand a lot of trans people are involved in prostitution. And there are a lot of people who will kill prostitutes just because they don't like them. That happens to all kind of sexes, all kind of gender people. It doesn't matter, male or female. So I wonder if these trans people were murdered just because they identify as trans, or was this involved prostitution? Could this have been drug related? Could there have been other factors that led to their deaths? 32 is some numbers, but it's not the end of the world, because can I share you some other numbers? Look at this. Christians is the most persecuted religion, confirmed new report. The group Open Doors USA figures that 360 million Christians last year in the countries where persecution was significant. Roughly 5,600 Christians were murdered. Now we know per capita, the numbers in comparison to trans are not exactly the same, because there are more Christians than there are trans people. But if we're going to talk about justice, standing for anybody, by all means, there should be an outcry for the deaths of Christians around the world. I've heard in different parts of the world, where is it at? Somewhere in Nigeria, it's about 13 Christians a day on average who are killed, burnt and everything, butchered, choked, all right, burned alive and so on, stoned to death. This is happening every single day. So the highest number of trans people that was killed was in the year 2022. But the way she says it is that they're being butchered all around the world. That's just a bold-faced lie. When you follow on, trans people are not being attacked, at least not in the United States. Now, there may be other parts in the world where this is happening, but not in the United States. That is actually not true. Not even 32 is a high number for 2022. How you break down these numbers also are significant as well. So let's go back to Miss Gabrielle Union. Let's keep going.
Every day, everywhere.
Every day, everywhere. Not true.
Every day, everywhere. And there's rarely a whisper about it. We honestly don't approach this work as activists or leaders as much as we do this as parents.
You know what's sad? Most people will take this speech and form a perspective and live their lives accordingly. They won't do any research. They won't go and dig and look at the facts. They don't care. They're going to take this notion and they're going to go along with it and push this ideology forward. Because when you do your facts, when you do your research, you find out those numbers are not exactly as she puts them. And trans people are not being killed every day, everywhere. That's not true. So that means if trans people are being killed every day, that means at least 1 or 2 trans persons should be killed daily. So that means we're talking about 365 dead trans people every single year if we're killing 1 trans person a day, which is not happening. If that was happening, that's bad. But that's not the case. So if you're getting 20 or 32 people in a year and factoring all the other reasons why this could be happening, and if you were to compare that to any other death that's happening in the world, this idea that trans people are being butchered everywhere is just false. It's not true. You gotta stop lying to people, and that's not good.
Parents who love our children and will do whatever the hell we can to keep them seen and secure and safe. This is a conversation worth having in ways that can actually build bridges, right? That don't fan the flames of hatred or division. That don't enable lawmakers or justice systems to look the other way when Black trans people are under attack.
Is that Maxine's Waters? What is she? What is she doing there? The thing is, she is Gabrielle is a good actor. But you notice one thing with this girl, there are no facts being read. There are no statistics. It's just she's just speaking from her head, man. This is all a nice script, a nice speech. It's not backed up by any facts, apart from the things that they themselves create. To say in this America people are killing trans people, that's not the case. Not like that, not randomly. There may be other reasons why trans people, some of them are involved in drugs and other things, prostitution and so on. There are other factors to consider. But to say because a person is trans and then walking around and they're gonna be killed, I don't think so, buddy. I don't think so. Not in America. These trans people are supernatural. They got power. They got so much power. They got more power than average women. Trans women are women, they told us. Trans women can get pregnant today and all that. So this notion that Black women, trans people are being killed is just a lie. That's just gaslighting.
They don't drive more young people to hate themselves or harm themselves. They don't cost people their lives.
Yes, they do. You're lying. Those TikTok videos, what do you think they're causing young people to do? Why do you think their mental health is so bad? Why do you think the trans community has exploded on the scene? Okay? They watch other videos, they're inspired by that, and they have insecurities in themselves. There are other issues, factors that ally them to that. There's also sexual abuse, which is actually a horrible aspect and the truth to that as well. Yeah, but their influence, however, does matter. And it's also been proven that the suicidal rate rises tremendously after they transition. So, yeah, they're going to harm themselves. And they're doing, and it's sad. It's heartbreaking. I don't know what it's like to deal with that. And, I will never speak against a mother or a father who was going through raising a trans kid, because I don't know what that is. But I will not be lying, though, about my son or my daughter's situation. I was trying to get their mental health in check. I will say we're not transitioning anything until you are at an age where you are fully mature to understand what you're about to do. These are things I will be telling my son and daughter. We will be praying. We will take you to church. We'll have a counselor. We'll have therapy, not to affirm, but to figure out what's going on here. I'll take away the phone. Yeah, and those TikTok apps, you're not allowed to have that because these things do play on your psyche. So we have to think about all these different factors as well. So easier said than done, and I know.
So we are humbled and we are hopeful for the future. We are hopeful that we may witness a real shift in the fight for justice. The moment, the movement, makes room for everyone. Everyone. Thank you.
Oh, goodies. What are we going to do with these people? Praying for them is one of them. I've already spoken my view, but I'll tell you what went wrong in this situation here. And if I were you, as a father listening to this, I'll give you one counsel as a father, not talking as Gabrielle and what happened here and all that stuff that's going on in their homes. That's their home. I'll let them deal with that. But here's the thing I will tell you as a father, if you're listening to this. It says, Father, you fathers, provoke not your children to wrath. In other words, don't make them angry. Don't beat them. Don't mistreat them. Don't abuse your children. Love them. But bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. This is what's lacking in the conversation here. We have a bunch of parents, fathers who are raising their children not to fear God, not to love righteousness. And a lot of these fathers and mothers also, they're not Christians, they're unbelievers. And they fall right for the prey. They are deceived just as much as their children are, and therefore they can't help them. And if I were to give you a counsel, listen, man, don't let the culture raise your children. You raise your children according to the word and the will of God. Teach them the word of God. Read to them the 10 Commandments. Read the Bible to your children. Lately, I've been reading to my son. I'm reading the book of Samuel to him. You know, I read the NIV, something that he can understand. And he looked at me the other day as he was in the bed, and I was reading to him as he was going to sleep. And he's like, I really like this Bible. I really like this story. And he fell asleep, and I was reading to him the Bible. The thing is, we gotta protect our sons and daughters from TikTok influencers, definitely, and have those tough conversations about stuff like this before they get wrapped up in it. Have that conversation with them. Protect them as much as possible from sexual abusers and all kind of pedophilia and stuff like that that's going on out there, which is impacting the kids. Be careful with screen time. Be careful with screen time. Be careful with the kind of movies they're watching as well. Pay attention to those things. Spend more quality one-on-one time with them. Give them stuff to do outside of the home. These are counsels I will give you, and also teach them the word of God. Pray with them, pray over them. Don't be ashamed to tell them the truth about how God feels about some of this stuff and how they need to fear God and love him and not fall for this stuff. That's what he's going to take. He's going to take mothers and fathers who are bold, who are honest, who are truthful, to raise children to do what is right in this culture, because the rest of the world, they're going crazy.